Hey, good morning, everybody. I hope the network connectivity will be stable starting now. I will now quickly walk us through the agenda scheduled for today. We will start with a brief introduction to the company, to GE Vernova. Afterwards, Stuart, my colleague, a business consultant, will walk us through the smart factory solutions addressing food and beverage customers, challenges that these customers normally have. Afterwards, we will have a joint demo with Stuart that explores two different scenarios for the food and bev. And last but not least, we will explore a customer story. And of course, we will spare some time for questions at the end of the session. I will kick things off with a really brief introduction to the company. And I want to quickly explain what differentiates us and why 7 out of 10 biggest food and bev companies are right now using our software in plants across the globe. This is partly thanks to unique MES capabilities that facilitate process, batch, discrete, and hybrid manufacturing at the same time using the same software. That is also thanks to us being manufacturer ourselves and having expertise in software business for 30 years. Every day we are working on solving manufacturing challenges and enabling us all to do more. For 30 years, Proficy has been present in a vast range of industries with a huge installment base in food and bath. We have the expertise, but we also focus on technological advancements. We carefully listen to you in order to co-innovate together. That is why we released first real SaaS MES to market as early as in 2022, and we are expanding the portfolio with, for example, acquisition of the Proficy Scheduler. Now over to you, Stuart, for the smart factory solutions in food and beverage. Stuart, you are on mute. I just realized. And yeah.
Sorry. Okay, so I'll start again. So, hello
Yes.
everyone. So, with many of the challenges we see, one of the top of the list is food safety, including genealogy of products and quality control. In addition to this, we see a lot of questions around, talent and labour shortages. We have the ageing population. We need to retain that knowledge. Additionally, there's vast amounts of data created. So this data is often siloed in different systems. We need to be able to bring that data out to operations, but also to the wider enterprise. So there's a number, we can't cover all of these today, but I've picked on these three to discuss. So what may we be able to do to help solve those? Well, with regard to food safety, we can achieve strong compliance with these food safety requirements. We have strong quality control applications, as well as full traceability from the raw material through to the final product. With regard to talent and labour shortages, we have modern user experiences. These platforms can incorporate that institutional knowledge. We can guide and ensure that the operators do the right action at the right time and capturing the correct data. Of course, with this data, we need to have that available for analysis, whether it be simple Pareto charts, whether it be AI or ML driven, or used in cloud platforms. So we have solutions to each of these challenges in the Proficy Smart Factory solutions. So we can see evidence of that in a number of use cases. These are all published on our website. Challenges solved in these use cases, overall equipment effectiveness is often quite high in the industry and has been for some time. Equally, one we'll be talking more about is where we can cover the food safety and traceability requirements with quality, inventory visualization, and again, traceability from the incoming materials through to the final products in the store. And of course, with the siloed data, the bottom use case here discusses the democratization of that data. So where do our solutions fit? Well, the answer is kind of everywhere. In production, we automate, we track, we guide, we visualize in all of the different processes from continuous through to batch. In packing, we track the packing processes, we manage the different processes within that. We also monitor the overall equipment effectiveness. Across all of these, we track usage of energy, both for Scope 1 and Scope 2. We can report on these to help meet the regulations around this aspect. In fact, we can manage all of the use cases that's needed in the various areas within these sorts of plants. But as I said, today we'll be focusing our demos on incoming material deliveries, ensuring it gets correctly checked, ensuring it gets correctly unloaded to the correct locations. And within production, we'll be looking at the quality controls and the final genealogy of the product. So let's touch on the use case. Over to Michal.
So as Stuart introduced, we will have two scenarios. In the first scenario, Stuart will take a role of operations manager, trying to understand how he can leverage Proficy Smart Factory in his own problems in the challenges he's currently facing, whereas I will be playing a role of transformation lead, explaining in details how Proficy Smart Factory does it. So Stuart, good to see you again. Happy to meet you currently at this coffee break. I know that you were chasing something. Can you tell me what use cases were you after and how can I help you?
Yeah, so yeah, hello there. I'm really intrigued to see if in Proficy Smart Factory that you introduced to a plant recently. Well, can you help us with processing the incoming bulk raw materials that we get delivered by trucks? Currently, we don't do this digitally. We have lots of paperwork. We perform some basic checks, and we have to make sure the delivery is offloaded to a correct location, which doesn't always happen. This involves far too much paper, and it's only going to get more complicated as the food safety regulations come into effect.
As I see, we have two related tasks to manage here. We first have the managing of the delivery process through the weighing station, through the gatehouse, and then towards the unloading dock. And the second part that you referred to is about how this delivery has to be registered, sorted by size and tracked. And that is something that we have implemented in the second section of the factory. So I can definitely help and show you. Would that fit you?
Yes, that's the pain that we have. Can you get into that and show me how we can manage deliveries, sort by the size of the product and start the tracking process?
Certainly. So we will see two scenarios. The first scenario right now starts with the reception of the materials at the gatehouse. We will see how the process of the delivery is managed through Proficy Smart Factory. And afterwards, we will have a second track to observe how the same process starts from the factory operator perspective. It will be then expanded towards the production with the demo that Stuart will lead in a few moments. I will now play a role of a truck driver who arrives at the gatehouse. And the first thing that I need to do once I arrive at the plant, I have to register myself at the gatehouse and I collect a delivery note with a specific code that will help me tracking the delivery through the next steps. I have to confirm reception of that paper, and this is something I will use through the process in a few moments. Once I have it, I'm ready to drive my truck to the first weighing station, where again, I have to scan this delivery code, that particular delivery code with a barcode scanner attached to the weighing station. And I'm guided step by step of what I need to do. First part of that receiving goods process is about weighing the incoming goods, in this case, the step 2 from the weigh scale, and I'm asked to provide a licensing plate, which is purely for the tracing capabilities, as well as the trailer ID, which conforms to a specific trailer weight. I also have details of my order visualized in the upper section with information that the delivery has to start in between April 9th and April 12th. Once confirmed, I'm ready to proceed to the second step, which means that I have now to unload my trailer and collect an empty one in order to have an exit weighing, and based on these exit weighing and incoming weighing adjusted by the trailer weight in both processes, I will have my final delivery weight calculated by the system. I have just collected the empty trailer, and I will now proceed to the second weighing second weigh bridge, where I'm asked to perform a second weigh. Again, I'm presented with the live readings from a weigh scale, asked to answer what the trailer ID I have just collected in order to have the proper delivery weight calculated. Once I'm ready, I can confirm, and the track is ready to leave the site. This is the final step of the process of delivery of potatoes, raw potatoes, to the factory. Once I sign off it here, we are ready to see the same from the perspective of operator that takes care of the real unloading of the trailer. And then we will walk you through the next steps of the process. This is a view of a factory operator that has a list of trailers ready for unloading. There is one entry which conforms the reception that we have just went through. And once I click unload, I'm again ready to, I'm actually guided through the 3 steps that I have to take as an operator. The first thing is I need to select a specific dock for unloading. It will be A01 in my case. And I have to make sure that the quality is in proper, the quality of the sample that is received is in proper condition. We have established a quality management system with Proficy Smart Factory, and right now a quality lab technician has to perform a quality check. Lab technician has his own page with tasks to do, and there is indeed a quality check in docs A01 that waits for completion. I have to provide a sample weight, which is, let's say, 15 kilograms in this case, and answer the few questions related to the product characteristics and if there are any defects. Right now, let's assume the product is in good condition. There is nothing wrong with that sample. The list is currently empty, which means that the only task I had is completed. There are no additional tasks because the sample was okay, and I'm ready to continue with the process as the operator. There are no outstanding checks here, so I'm okay to confirm. This is the final step of receiving this lot in the factory. I have to select the final status and sign off if the lot has to be accepted or not. In my case, I haven't seen nothing wrong, so I will just confirm delivery has been unloaded, and now we can see the same thing from in the inventory management page. This is the page that displays all the material lots received in specific docks, and you will notice soon that the quantity displayed here is going to decrease. That is why the potatoes, once unloaded, are automatically sorted based on size. Medium, small, and large potatoes go to respective crates, and additional material lots are created once the sorting is done. Now, if I pick any of these lots, let's take this one, for example, I can see if there are any checks. If there are any entries in the genealogy so far. What I've done, I have copied a material lot of a small potatoes crate, and right now I will have a look at the graph representation of traceability entries. This is the small potatoes crates, and it's linked to a specific delivery lot. When I click the lot, I can see that out of this specific delivery, potatoes were sorted to large, medium, and small crates, respectively. Each of these is currently present in the system. And Stuart, as you see, we manage the delivery through the enforce process. We have this process that is guiding us, and that is helping with eliminating errors, and also the tracking data, or at least the delivery part and the start of the process is already captured. Is it something that you find helpful?
Yeah, this is really helping compared to the past where we had weighbridges with paper records, people manning those weighbridges, and lots of double entry of data. So this is really great. Okay.
It helps.
Good. Okay. Right. Okay. So I'm going to now describe the second scenario. And here I'll be playing the role of the transformation lead. And we'll be looking at the production area. Michal will be playing the role of the QA lead and trying to understand how we can further qualify the conformance to tracking and quality attributes. So,
right. So, Stuart, we have surely seen how we manage raw materials, but for production, yes, we do have further need. It's important to understand if the specifications for any product in our facility is met, and we can have different specifications and quality requirements based on the product and also based on the production unit. Also, if we have a reported issue, we really need to know the full history of the pallet, not only from the receiving goods perspective, but I'm looking for a real product passport for the full genealogy. Is it something that you can show me today?
Yes, very much so. Let me show you. So share and select one. Okay, so what we have here is the production area of Smart Factory. We're running we have one running production order in the line at the moment, producing a specific product. And we have various attributes of that order available for visualization. Today, I'm going to focus on the consumption of the raw materials in a manual way. So previously, we saw the automated consumption of the materials from the dock through to the crates. And in this case, we're going to be manually loading the crates onto the infeed of the line. So we need to track these with a barcode scan rather than an automated process. Additionally, we're loading in big bags because we're creating 1,000 kilo big bags of raw product from the various crates. So let's start with the order. We're starting with the bill of material. And for each bag that's produced, we can scan in materials used to produce it. So we'll start with the potatoes. So if I select the potato line, and then if I start scanning in my crates. Now, in this case, I'm going to scan in the general attribute and then select the crates as I load them in. So I'll select the first crate here is this one. It's got 2004 kilos in it. I'll select this next one from the store. This has got 2002 kilos. And let's select this last one here, which has got 2004 kilos. So I've loaded these onto the machines, so I click on consume. So these are the consumptions of the crates which have been created by sorting of the raw material lots. We're going to consume some sunflower oil. Here I'm going to load in a single 50 kilo drum, and we're going to make one, in this case, bag. So I'll scan the bag as I load it to a machine. In this case, I have to search for it as I don't have a scanner visible. Okay, so here we can now see that actually each of the materials has full tracking of the materials which was used to produce the final bag. So if we take this now, we'll see that the inventory view, if I refresh, will show that we've consumed these three lots, and we will have created the equivalent lot in the big bag store. If we take this through to genealogy, and I have one prepared for you, I have the big bag of fries which we scanned. So this big bag had 3 lots of potatoes in consumed, and oil and the main containing bag. Each of these lots of potatoes, small potatoes, can be tracked back to the delivery lot that was used to produce it. And then, of course, if we had a problem with that delivery lot, we could start tracing forwards instead of backwards and see all of these crates that were produced and trace forward all the way through to all the crates that may be needed for recall or investigation. So yeah, as you can see, we've got full end-to-end forward and reverse tracking. In addition, for this specific order, we can see we have a quality check outstanding. We'll just talk a little bit about this before we conclude. So in this case, we've got specifications for the different attributes that we're checking. The first one we can see is automatically collected. The next one here has limits based upon the product, which have to be manually. So we can have a collection of manual and automated processes. So again, as before, we can attribute certain quality checks to the product, to the order, and associate that with the production. So, Nihal, we've shown you the digital data is available in near real time for every user that requires it to satisfy those regulatory requirements.
Yes, as I see it, now both the delivery drivers and all the operators in the plant can focus on their respective tasks. They are properly guided. System helps with minimizing mistakes. We have a process that eliminates errors. All the data is captured digitally. There is no need for double entering anything. It's just stored in one place in safe and secure way. And the tracking data is from the start of the process till the very end, which is really something we wanted to achieve with the genealogy. So this is very, very helpful. And yeah, I'm curious what else Proficy Smart Factory could offer.
Very good. Thank you. Okay, so that concludes the demos. I'm going to quickly touch on a customer story. So we mentioned this customer earlier in the slides, and they really encompass everything we've been talking about. I had batch-to-batch quality verification variations. I had trouble with the tracking and the general visualization of data from inventory, from genealogy, and so on. And they needed to really onboard new operators with an easy, modern-to-use platform. To satisfy this, they implemented our automated batch execution platforms, monitored by the manufacturing execution platforms, and had visualization on the plant using the SCADA automation and visualization tools. So really used the full suite of Proficy products. They created the results of the improved material traceability and visibility. They had more easy onboarding of new users with more efficient training processes, and they managed quality in a much better way. So I think we've got a very short time for some questions and answers.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much, Michael and Stuart, for the ideas on how to do the process and these demos. So you gave us a demo about frozen products, and I gave you a demo about a frozen screen at the beginning. So very sorry for the delay, and that's why we're a little late. But we have questions in the chat, so we'll try to address them. So the first question, partly been answered already, but the first question was during your introduction, what is Smart Factory?
What is Smart Factory? So Smart Factory is the solution from GE. So it's Proficy Smart Factory encompasses manufacturing execution system, along with the historian to support that, and Operations Hub as the low-code and no-code visualization environment, which can be used to build applications, including MES and historian data, along with data from other systems.
So another question came during the demo. Which software module of Smart Factory is used to guide the truck drivers through the unloading process, workflow or data flow editor?
This is actually implemented using Operations Hub for visualization aspects and the underlying MES products, plant applications, which is all part of Smart Factory to manage the data and the sequenced processing.
Thank you. And we have questions about connectivity with ERP. So may raw material warehouse management be managed in the ERP? May also the unloading process be managed in the ERP system? Which are your opinion and point of view? And another question was how it connected to ERP.
Let me answer this. Inigo, forgive me the pronunciation, I hope it's right. So it depends, I would say. In some scenarios, you can have it in ERP. In that case, what we would do, we would have a transaction that is staging the materials. So they are brought to work in progress inventory next to the line, but it can also be managed in the MES. I would say it depends. And the second question, how is our portfolio connected to ERP? We have strong interfacing capabilities when it comes to ERP with out-of-the-box SQL tables to facilitate standard messages conforming the transactions to import or export orders, routes, information about the material, so material lots or material definitions. The same thing you can also use with REST API, so web-based API. And it's up to you how you connect it, but the interfaces are there. It's just the matter of getting the data or sending the data out.
And one last question is, production planning and scheduling is separate? Question mark.
Yeah, go on.
Somehow,
it's a part of one suite. And I would say that it's very beneficial to have it as a part of one suite. So scheduling can benefit from this close feedback of being very close to MES. Where MES takes care of the execution, scheduling would benefit from having the feedback data. For example, you have the orders scheduled in the APS, in the Proficy scheduler, and then MES updates the real start and end date time of the orders. And the integration can go beyond that. You can have the information of the downtime synchronized with the calendar in the scheduler, so you can also plan according to what is happening in the plant floor.
Great, thank you. So we have been covering all the questions. Thank you very much for your participation and your questions. And thank you again, Michael and Stuart, for this presentation. If you have additional questions, I've shared in the chat the contact us form or the email of our colleague Cataldo. We will be very happy to receive your questions and answer them or forward them to the expert of your choice. So really do feel free to contact us. This session was recorded and we will share the recording by email so you can replay it or share it with your colleagues. And yeah, we hope we have enjoyed it and that it brought a new idea on how to digitalize your processes for the food industry. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.